Grace Slick with the lead vocals on Somebody to Love with Jefferson Airplane, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours. We'll be on the air for another hour. Thanks so much for listening. Got some great music picked out for you today. Should be a good one. Got a great poem picked out from the brand new 2024 edition of Gallery Magazine. It's called No Title. Well, that sounds an interesting one. We'll play that. I'll recite that about 50 minutes after the hour. So we've got This Day in History coming up at the bottom of the hour. And hopefully you'll stick with us for all that. Currently here in the beautiful upper Rio Grande Valley, we've got a temperature of 85 degrees with, it looks like some partly cloudy skies. But looks like we should see mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 98 here in the upper valley. For tomorrow, Saturday the 14th, 99 degrees is the high. Sunday, slight chance of rain. Looks like a little bit more than slight. 62% chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 93. And then returning to the work week on Monday, a high of 94 and close to a 50% chance of rain. If you haven't listened to Vaquero Radio and the Riders Partnership doing play-by-play during UTRGV athletic events, you're missing out. Last night, our station manager Jan Trejo and the sports reporter Ali Haloum from the Rider were doing play-by-play as the women volleyball team took on Texas Tech. Boy, what a heartbreaker. They won the first two sets, the Vaqueros did, and I have to be honest, I left. I thought for sure, they got to get at least one more set. They're two sets up. They dropped a heartbreaker to Texas Tech, 3-2. That's definitely a bummer. But don't worry, Vaqueros. The women's volleyball playing San Francisco today at the field house, and then they go on the road versus they're taking on Texas Tech and Houston Christian, so that's coming up here. Men's tennis today is at the Jake Frederick Memorial Islander tournament, so they're up at Corpus, and then next week it looks like we've got women's soccer at Louisiana on the 15th on Sunday, and then September 18th men's soccer up at Houston Christian. So make sure if you ever get a chance to see your Vaqueros in action at the field house. It was my first time back to the field house since the renovations. Looks great. Big scoreboard. It was a packed house last night too. Wow, holy smokes. For a Thursday night, 2,771 in attendance at the field house. That's great. I really love to see that. So stick with us for the rest of the hour. Right now, I think we'll do a little bit of edgy stuff in this next set. We've got, we've got Sonic Youth, we've got Nirvana, but started off, how about a little Fugazi with Suggestion from the 13 Songs LP, only on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. That's Sonic Youth, Kim Gordon and Thurston Moore, along with the rest of the gang there, with Teenage Riot, probably their first song that made it to the mainstream there. I'd say it's fair to say. Good morning. This is DJ Doc V. You're listening to Office Hours with DJ Doc V. We'll be here until 11 a.m., and then it's the Feminist Hour coming up at 11 a.m. from the Brownsville studio, so make sure you stay tuned. Brownsville, yeah. Who knew? Brownsville's going on there. Let's see. Currently, what's the temperature in Brownsville? Well, 86 currently, as of a few minutes ago. Let's see where it's probably gone up. Yep, 87. So we're expecting a high this afternoon with partly cloudy skies of 98. And in the 90s all weekend and Monday and Tuesday and probably Wednesday and Thursday. Those of us that live here in the valley know it's pretty common to be in the 90s every day. We have to figure out a way to get used to it, I suppose. So, hopefully, you're listening to a lot of the other shows that we have. We've got several different shows this semester, including a sports show with Ali from The Rider. We've got Coffee Noise came back this semester, 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoons. We've got a quick hop into hip hop on Wednesday afternoons at 3, and Library Talk, 10 a.m. on Thursdays. If you missed it yesterday with Joel Chirinos, he's out at the Brownsville studio as well. So keep tuned to Vaquero Radio wherever you are. Remember, you could get us online. For those that previously used our Radio FX app, we're not using that one anymore. So you'll need to be listening to us on the internet. And hopefully, we're expecting some upgrades in the next month or so, where our player will automatically play on your favorite browser rather than you having to wait until and hit the play button and stuff. So, and then you could actually make a shortcut on your smartphone that'll go right to the player, and you don't have to navigate through the website. So stick with us. Great things coming this year for Vaquero Radio. We got College Radio Day coming up next month, first weekend in October, October 4th. We're participating in that here in Texas. UT Arlington is essentially the HQ for Texas's College Radio Days. So UTA and the gang up there at UT Arlington, we've got a great relationship with them. We see them every year up at TIPA, and a little shout out to our friends up in Arlington. So I get back to the music here, and we've got The Cure coming in. We love The Cure, don't we? It's Yeah Yeah Yeahs with Maps. You know where I first heard that song? Where? Rock Band. Right? It's on. Yeah, the PlayStation game. Man, I haven't played that in a while. I should fire that thing up again. That one. Also, that Jefferson Airplane that I started off. I'd heard that before Rock Band. But it's one of my favorite songs to play on Rock Band. Just something about that makes me want to get up and move around, I guess. So the Yeah Yeah Yeahs with Maps, and before that we had The Cure with Close to Me. Robert Smith and his, I guess we can't call them a merry band of musicians since they're kind of goth. But yeah, The Cure there. As we do every week on Office Hours, we've got some interesting factoids on this day in history. And back in 1993, on September 13th, after decades of bloody animosity, representatives of Israel and Palestine meet on the South Lawn of the White House and sign a framework for peace. The Declaration of Principles was the first agreement between the Israelis and Palestinians toward ending their conflict and sharing the Holy Land between the River Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea that they both claim as their homeland. Fighting between Jews and Arabs in Palestine dates back to the 1920s, when both groups laid claim to the British-controlled territory. The Jews were Zionists, recent immigrants from Europe and Russia, who came to the ancient homeland of the Jews to establish a Jewish national state. The native Arabs, they did not yet call themselves Palestinians, sought to stem Jewish immigration and set up a secular Palestinian state. On May 14, 1948, the State of Israel was proclaimed, and 5 Arab nations attacked in support of the Palestinian Arabs. Israelis fought off the Arab armies and seized substantial territory, originally allocated to the Arabs in the 1947 United Nations partition of Palestine. After 2 successive UN-brokered ceasefires, the State of Israel reached formal armistice agreements with Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria in February of 1949. These agreements left Israel in permanent control of the territory it had conquered during the conflict. But obviously, despite the fact that these principles were signed in 1993, we remain in a situation where there's just a lot of fighting. There's really no peace plan on the horizon. We're trying to get the war that Israel is executing against the people of Gaza right now in the Gaza Strip. Many are calling for a ceasefire or a return of the hostages. I think we all want that. We all want the fighting to stop. We want the suffering to stop. And it is a touchy scenario, but it's got a long history, and it's not going to be easy to solve. So, also on this day in history, in 2007, the UN's Watershed Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples is adopted. On this day in 1963, Mary Kay launches her namesake company, the cosmetics company Mary Kay. In 1971, the massacre at Attica Prison in New York took place. After hunger strikes and inmates taking over the prison for a while. In 2004, that was the day that Oprah gives away nearly 300 cars. You get a car, and you get a car. Everybody gets cars. In 1996, Tupac Shakur dies. And finally, in 1862, the Union troops discover rebels' Antietam battle plan. And that helped them. It was still a bloody battle in Antietam, but it certainly provided important intelligence for Union troops. Let's get back to the music. Boy, I love this song by the White Stripes, Ball and Biscuit. It's so fun. And you're really only going to hear it on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Phil Collins and Genesis with Misunderstanding. That one from the Three Sides Live LP, although that was a studio version of that song, Misunderstanding. Before that, you heard Audio Slave with Cochise, and we started off that set with the White Stripes, Ball and Biscuit. And I just realized that's the song that introduces the film Jerry Maguire. Check me out on that. Let's watch it, and it's the first. That first musical little interlude there is the very beginning of Jerry Maguire. They used that film. So, good morning, Vaqueros. Another few minutes here with you. Remember to stay tuned, because at 11 o'clock, the Feminist Hour is coming up from our Brownsville studio. DJ Modena Libre on deck for the Feminist Hour. But right now, as we do every Friday, this is a poem I'm going to recite from Gallery Magazine, another fine UTRGV student media production. This is a poem titled No Title by Precious Gallegos. I've been walking for quite a while. I may walk much more. I've been walking down places suffocated by memories, through houses where people live no more, saying words that are said no more, dreaming dreams that no one dreams no more. I passed down that rose-colored apartment where you used to live, which has been replaced by a soft red, now the windows slightly open, which you never used to do, just enough for a red breeze to slide through. And the curtains that are now there are quite similar to yours, but not the same. People say that life is short, but if you look back, you'll see it really isn't. And just as I was about to walk away, a light turned on, and my heart stopped for a second. And a sudden rush came over me. A small piece of me felt complete, a little larger than the whole universe. I would knock at your door and say the truth, that is, what I really feel, and what you really mean to me. If only you were there. That's a poem called No Title by Precious Gallegos. It's in the 2024 edition of Gallery Magazine, which you can pick up anywhere around campus. They've also got social media presence. Make sure you check them out there. Follow them on your socials, Instagram, Facebook, and so on and so forth. X, which used to be Twitter. Make sure you do that. Follow them along. Just a few more minutes to go here in office hours. And, we've been playing pretty upbeat music mostly. Let's turn it down just a hair. Here's a wonderful classic song by the Eagles. This one's called One of These Nights from album of same name. Here's the Eagles on Vaquero Radio, the Valley's student station. Thanks for listening. Have a great Friday. We'll see you next time. Make sure you stay tuned for Feminist Hour coming up at the top of the hour. Have a good one, Vaqueros.